Last episode I built a villager breeder. The next obvious thing is to build a villager trading hall. Plus I have enough villagers to put in it. So let's get started, since this is going to take the entire episode to build it, to put the villagers in, level them up, and get all the trades I want. So the reason I already have a giant hole here is that in my last episode I wanted to do both the trading hall and the breeder at the same time. However, what ended up happening is that the breeder took so long that I didn't get around to making the trading hall. So this is next to the villager breeder, so it'll be easy to put the villagers into here. I still need to clear out more space. This isn't enough yet. And let me explain while I do that what my plan is for the villager trading hall. My idea is to build it into the ground for the villager trading hall to make it a sunken building. So the idea is that you can walk into it and you'll walk down into the hall and you can overlook it while you're above it. So I was thinking more of an open market feel for this, so multiple levels, maybe even no roof for it. This makes me a bit nervous because I don't want hostile mobs to spawn inside of it and kill all of the villagers. I also don't want pillager patrols to spawn within it also. I was thinking more of an ancient kind of feel for this, so an ancient market, Roman, maybe something like the Trajan market. That's at least the idea I have in my head. This is going to be the same as previous trading hall that I built in my last Let's Play, just a different building. It will work the same way that you can drop the villagers if you need to be cured, and there will be a zombie underneath. I originally wanted to build a rail connection to make it easier to put the villagers into the trading hall. However, I nixed it because it would take up too much space. Plus, it would take up a lot of time to actually build it. And after all, I only need to put the villagers in once, hopefully. Unless that becomes a problem, but I can always put the rails down again. Next is to plan out the layout before I start placing the blocks and putting the villagers inside. My two requirements, that's two, are there needs to be 48 stalls for the villagers because that's the amount of villagers I plan to have, and there needs to be multiple levels, so it won't be one flat building. Usually I like to plan this out in creative, or at least part of it, but this was a bit different because I had to make it fit a specific space. I placed a lot of stairs and then removed them and placed them the same stairs in another spot. You get the idea. And here's an early rough example of multiple levels. This one wouldn't work because I would need walkways and space for the redstone. For laying out a plan, I just use any temporary blocks I have in my storage, like random stairs or dirt blocks. I like to use diorite as it really sticks out, or blocks I rarely use. I ended up walking around to see how it looked and to see how it would be to move around it. I can't really change this if I don't like it once it's actually built, or at least parts of it. Here it is starting to take shape. I was trying to figure out the spacing for all 48 stalls, especially doing this on one side before I repeat it to the other side. And once I found something I actually liked, which this is, I mirrored it on the other side just to get an idea of how much space I would have at the bottom also. And as you can see here, my spacing was off, so I need to move everything 4 blocks forward. And here is the finished layout. Well, at least part of it. You see, this is only half because I need to double the lengthwise. Yes, this is only enough for 24 villagers, and I need another 24. So let's get clearing. I think you get the idea. I mined some blocks, I mined even more blocks, then I mined even more blocks. So let's get back to the villager trading hall. But first, you have to get some blocks for the building. I mined some sand to get some sandstone in the desert, grew some birch wood using bone meal near my base, then I stripped it to get the stripped birch wood, doing the thing I like the most, which is climbing really high up in the world. Plus I needed string, so I went to the mine shaft in the Badlands to break some cobwebs. Onto the redstone and building. Underneath I placed a sticky piston that will drop the villagers so they can be zombified by the zombies and push back up when I want to cure them. I'm putting some redstone down 2 blocks, and there will be a lever on top of that block above the redstone to activate the sticky piston. It's 2 blocks because the job site block will be between the villager and the lever. I'll put a guide to this in the description if you want to build this trading hall, which is really good. Just went through and replaced the dirt walkways with sandstone. Placing the string is for the observers being able to detect the villagers in their stalls, and this will trigger a sticky piston that pulls a block so the villagers can keep walking above them. Although I placed the blocks wrong here, there should be a space so the villagers can fall between the block and the piston, and then once they're in their stall it'll retract. Here is the finished result, although some of it is not completely finished like the bottom right, but it is semi-finished, and now it is time to put the villagers into their spots. I always wonder if I over-explain things or under-explain. Well, right now I am going to over-explain the hell out of this. Here is where the villagers will be ejected into the villager trading hall from their minecarts. The activator rail that is powered by the lever will eject the villager. The trapdoors will prevent the villagers from going anywhere but where I want them to go. Cactus drops the minecart and the hopper under the rail picks it up. Bingo bango bongo, it's just that easy. Just have to connect the rails / powered rails via redstone torch to the villager breeder. And away we go with the first of many villagers. This guy is stuck in one spot and not moving. Maybe if I push them they'll go? Nope, that isn't working. It used to be easier to do this before one of the updates. I think maybe if I break the composter that will work. Ta-da! Must have been a pathfinding issue. They're still not becoming a farmer. There has to be another job site block that they're trying to get to. I guess it's a stone cutter. They wanted to be a mason instead of a farmer. Next, I was trying to level them up and get the pumpkin trade. Luckily I have a melon and pumpkin farm, so it was pretty easy to level up the farmers. This guy unfortunately didn't have a pumpkin trade, so I'll have to introduce him to lava. But the next villager had the trade, or else lava. I ended up with 6 farmers. I used them to farm emeralds, to make trades with other villagers. I think that is enough for now. And I wanted a cartographer with an item frame trade, or else lava. I ended up with 4 cartographers with the item frame trade. The amount of villagers are arbitrary, just how much I think I need of specific trades. Next was the weaponsmith. All I wanted out the weaponsmith is the sword trade that is guaranteed and to have no curse enchantments on the sword. You have to use the grindstone to remove the enchantments if you want different ones, but you can't remove curse enchantments. I only need 1 weaponsmith. Next was the armor. They have a guaranteed trade for diamond armor. Just try not to get any curse enchantments, and I only need 1 of these guys. I leveled up 1 leather worker. Maybe if I need a saddle for something like a strider, at least I have the leather worker. Next, I leveled up masons. For this one, I wanted 6 of them. 2 for the polished diorite, 2 for the polished granite, and 2 for the polished andesite block trades. I do like terracotta, so it would be really tempting to go for all the different types of colored terracotta, but that would take a lot of villagers. Or else lava. All of that was 1 row. I still have 3 more to go, plus when I get down to the librarians at the end when I need specific enchantments, that is going to take a long time and it's going to be very painful. After that, I disassembled the villager ejection station since I didn't need any more in that row, and rebuilt it in another spot. It's pretty easy to do. Now to put in the librarians. Obviously you don't have to lava the librarians. They have an enchantment trade at the first level, and you can keep breaking the lectern until you get the trade you want. As long as you don't trade with them, that will lock in their trades. In total I want 26 librarians for the enchantments. This is everything for the armor, tools, weapons, and even if I ever get a trident. The ones I'm probably not getting are the curse enchantments or random protection enchantments. However, I did hit a hiccup when I ran out of villagers. Luckily, I introduced them to lava. There is a logic to this. The villager breeder is full and I only can get baby villagers to fall into the trap. I'm not a maniac, well, not that much of a maniac. And I hit another hiccup when a creeper exploded and tore a hole in the villager trading hall. I had to wrangle the villagers back in their spots at the same time as trying to repair the hall and keep them in their spots. At this point I had done most of the villagers, but I was tired of how the trading hall looked. It was too much of one color or sandstone. I just think it needs some variety and different colors and a different block palette, so I completely changed the look. Here is the before. And here it is after. So it uses more of mud brick, brick, and terracotta. I'm probably going to keep playing around with it a bit. I think the sandstone could have worked, but it needed something else to balance it out. I thought I would quickly break down the villagers and trades I wanted. 1 armorer, 1 leather worker, 1 toolsmith with an axe and shovel trade, and a weaponsmith. For the cartographers, I wanted 4, all of them with item frame trade. I wanted 4 clerics with the ender pearl trade, 6 farmers with the pumpkin trade, 6 masons, 2 of each with polished diorite, granite, and andesite trades, and last with 26 librarians with different enchantment trades. After all of that, I had enough enchantments and enchantment levels to put some enchantments on my sword and level it up. So thank you guys for watching.